So, hello and welcome. We both have just completed our work, and I find him for just a chit chat about the wicket specifically. He's the head curator here at the Beckenham County Ground, Josh. And you know, Josh, just a little bit about these wickets because there were a lot of chat around wickets whenever India toured to England or South Africa or Australia. Uh, what are the things you're looking forward to when you prepare a wicket for an Indian team? The eyeballs will be here. What kind of a series it is, the gravity of the series. Tell me about what you are looking forward to when you prepare a wicket like this.
I'd say first and foremost, the idea is to get the best pitch possible. You want a decent mix between bat and ball. You don't want a pitch that's going to be too biased towards the bowler or the batter. So, particularly for red ball cricket, that's what we're looking for. Traditionally, Beckenham here is very batter friendly.
Yes.
So it's a very good white ball venue. So over the years that I've been here, we've been trying to sort of bring the bowler into the game a bit more. You kind of want the perfect pitch, I'd say, is if you put the ball as a bowler in the right position, there's something there, a little bit of nibble, sort of especially as a seamer. You want the pitch to assist you. If you feel you bowled a bad ball and you get hit for four, it's frustrating, right?
Yes,
So you
yes.
want a sort of pitch whereby if you bowl in the right place, you're in the game. But also if you bowl in the wrong place, then the batter's going to hit you for four,
Okay.
or worse.
Okay. But tell me about this. That uh, there are all kind of wickets here,
Yeah.
width wise.
Yeah,
The 6 feet wickets. Australians use them a lot.
correct. Yeah.
But our Indian team happy with this because Indian team, whenever they practice, they want those 10 feet or 8 feet
Yes,
with
yeah,
wicket.
yeah.
So are you looking forward to that also? Was there anything that why they are not practicing on those kind of wickets? Is that the reason?
Yeah, they did ask us to widen them. It's traditional to have sort of smaller wickets in the UK just because of the battle for space.
Okay.
So in England, there's so much cricket, and now there's a lot of women's cricket as well. So because we only have one square here, the reason that they're narrow is essentially just to get more use out of the space that we have. So if you're not used to bowling on the smaller wickets, it can be a bit weird. So we've cut them wider and extended the front lines because if they want to, they can bowl wider than 6 foot. Just because we make them 6 foot doesn't mean that the bowler has to land on that cut strip. No, exactly. Because when you play on a normal 10-foot pitch, you can pretty much go right out to the edge nearly. I mean, the sidelines almost touch the edge of the sort of cut strip sort of thing. So no, they've sort of wanted them extended, and we've done that, and hopefully they're happy with that sort of thing. I think wherever they go in England, they are going to experience narrower nets. It's just something that's happening all around the country, and there's no real reason behind it other than the fact that we just want to get as much use out of our squares as we can, sort of thing.
Yeah. But tell me about this also, that there's not been any so much of rain in the springs.
No.
And Beckenham, as you rightly said, that it's a batting kind of wicket.
Yes.
I looked at Stephen Smith a week ago, and the smile on his face tells you a lot about that, what he's feeling while practicing on these wickets.
Yeah.
And they've spent a lot of time here. They came here in 2023
Correct.
also.
Yeah.
Specifically, they've called you guys just to prepare these kind of wickets. So just want to ask this, that the batting friendly wickets here, but when they go at the top north of the country heading lay,
Correct.
don't you think that it's going to be a different challenge they have to face altogether? Because there it's a more seam friendly wickets.
Yes.
Here they are practicing on more of a batting friendly wicket.
Yeah, I think
Are you guys trying to do something for that also?
Yeah, I mean, we leave more grass in. So the way that we would prepare a white ball pitch to how we prepare a red ball pitch is completely different. All of our pitches stay a similar cut height, but the amount of density of grass that we leave in is different. So when we're preparing, the pitches that we prepared for Australia and India that they're on at the moment, you would find, like, because you've seen the one that we use that has a lot less grass in.
Yes.
The difference in the density of grass is what's there. So although the soil and the ground history is for batters, we are doing things to try and bring the bowlers in, sort of thing. When they go up north, it will always be different whatever ground you play, because the further up north you go in England, the different types of soils are used.
Yeah.
So obviously we're quite limited on how we can't prepare one pitch and say this is going to play like Headingley, for example, and this pitch is going to play.
You can't
like
change the nature of the wicket.
Exactly.
Yes.
But we what we can do is is manipulate how much grass is on the pitch,
Yes.
and that can help the bowlers and the balance between bat and ball,
Okay.
and that's what we try to do.
Any measurement you can give us of the grass? What's it's been like on an average day, and have you increased it a bit or anything like that?
As in like the height and things.
Yeah.
So everything is 10 mil in terms of cut height,
10
which
mm.
is
Okay.
which is sort of, it's possibly slightly longer than what you would see on average across the UK.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we can get away with that because of how batter friendly it is here.
Yeah.
So we do that, and then we just control the seam movement depending on how thick the grass is. So we've
Okay.
got what we call is we've got a verticutter, and so rather than cutting horizontally, it's blades that are hundreds of blades that
Okay.
are literally like that.
So they go
And
vertical?
They go vertically,
Yeah.
but they don't go into the soil,
Okay.
and it just grooms and it thins
Okay.
out. It's almost
Okay.
like a bit like combing your hair.
Yeah.
It takes out all of the like the dead stuff and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It thins out the grass, gets rid
Okay.
of all the dead matter,
Okay.
and that means that there's less there for the ball to. So
Any
we leave more in essentially for red ball.
anything you heard from Jasprit Bumrah, or means he's a greatest. He's the
Yeah.
greatest. We see what we saw what he did in Australia. What he did on the very first tour, 2018 here, 2021. They often call that you take time to know the lens. In England
Yeah,
it's little
yeah.
different, but he obviously the way he is, how early he learns. He just did it on his very first tour. So anything from him, any communication from the Indian management towards you, any bowlers?
We've not really had direct contact with the players themselves. They've obviously been really busy training, but the coaches have given us feedback on what they want.
Like Mone Mokal or Gautam Gambhir?
Yeah, exactly. And they've sort of said, we had a meeting yesterday about what they want from the actual practice pitch. And I sort of went to them, do you want something that's going to be, green and a bit bowler friendly? Do you want something that's going to be a bit flat? If it's just about putting overs in the legs and getting the bowlers sort of match ready, sort of thing. But no, they very much want a pitch that's going to be constructive to result. Nobody wants to really watch 5 days of cricket and only see one innings each, 600 play 700, because that's no good for anybody. It's not good for cricket, is it? We want to see results, but also we don't want to see games over in 2 days either, sort of thing. So they just want a good pitch that's going to again offer something to the bowler if you bowl in the right place. But if you bowl on a bad length, then the batter will be able to hit you, sort of thing. So that's what we're aiming for. Getting it is not always it's not always an exact science. It doesn't always happen, but that's what we will try to produce.
Okay, last couple of questions. One thing is, what do you make of the weather in the next week or so? Are you having an eye on it? Because intra-squad game is here, and I saw that wicket. It's very it's very difficult to find the difference between the outfield and the wicket.
Yeah.
Will you means groom it further?
Yes, yeah. So
okay.
at the moment,
And weather.
So weather-wise, it's looking okay. English weather is
You can't say anything.
unpredictable, but at the moment it's looking quite good in comparison to how bad it could be. It's all right. We've had a very dry summer this year so far, and so you're actually, if you keep an eye on the county championship in England, a lot of pitches are staying greener, and that's essentially a reaction to the fact that it's been dry. So you would think with wet weather you would see more greener pitches, but actually because it's drier you can leave more grass on and you aren't going to get as much nip because the pitches are hard. So that's why it's green. I mean, the colour of the pitch doesn't necessarily have any reference on how it's actually going to play, but it will definitely get whiter. At the moment it's also green because we're flat sheeting it, and then so what that means is in the evenings it's actually sweating, so a bit like condensation. That's still keeping moisture in the leaf, not the soil, but the grass is actually absorbing that, and that's keeping it green. And that's essentially our way of stopping the pitch getting too dry too quickly. I think a lot of people associate seeing the sheets as us sort of keeping it dry from rain, but actually they're just as important for us in terms of prep, in terms of stopping things drying out, stopping the wind getting to it. It's not just purely for the rain sort of thing. They're really useful for prep. So we will thin it out, and we'll give it a couple of nights under the wheels as and when we feel it's, when we're closer to the time and we want to start getting a bit of colour in it, that's when we tend to sort of introduce the wheels. And then the wheels are like domes, so it's those things over there. Obviously you can't see that on the video, but it just means that the pitch can then start to breathe, and that's when it will then start to discolour a little bit and dry up and really firm up, sort of thing.
And you can't do anything with this wind.
No, I can't. I can't control the weather as much as I would like to.
It's very windy here. But one last part is, are you looking forward to? Means obviously, I talked about Jasprit Bumrah, but do you want to really see him bowl in these wickets?
Absolutely,
Or any other
absolutely.
bowlers or batters?
Yeah.
Shubman Gill is there. Yashasvi Jaiswal will be here.
It's
Are you looking forward to any Indian?
it's really satisfying when you prepare pitches and you have world class players playing on them, and even if you get bad feedback from them is really useful.
Exactly.
Because
Constructive criticism.
Exactly. Any kind of feedback from players like that is really good, because you can digest it, make adjustments, and as a groundsman, I think doesn't matter what age you are, how long you've been doing it, you are always learning, because the climate is always changing as well. I mean, we're traditionally getting a lot warmer summers, but also when it rains, it seems to be raining harder here. It's not like our summers are always changing. So getting that feedback in terms of, like, if you've tried something different and then getting that feedback is really useful. And also just from a cricketing perspective, it's really exciting to just watch them play, because they're world-class players, and it's impressive to watch. So who wouldn't enjoy that?
And especially when it's a closed door game.
Well, yeah.
So thank you so much, Josh.
No
thank you so much for all the details. It's all about, as I said in the intro part, that whenever you travel overseas, it's always about how the wicket. You see two things. Specifically in England, you see the skies first, and then you see the wicket. So let's see that how much this man has contributed towards what India do in upcoming 2 months. Thank you so much for watching.